Will Levis versus whoever's going to play quarterback for the Miami Dolphins at this point. Feels like it could be one of three options between Skylar Thompson, Tim Boyle, and Tyler Huntley. What's your matchup that matters here for this first Monday Night Football game?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually kind of it's on the other side because Will Levis has not been kept clean. He's under pressure all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very chaotic in Tennessee. So it's the Tennessee O-line versus this Miami pass rush, which is like if you're talking about good things about the Dolphins right now, it's partially on their defense. Um, the offensive line has allowed 45 pressures of Will Levis, which is tied for the second most, and a 53.3 PFF pass blocking grade as an
Yeah.
OL unit, and that ranks fifth worst.
Yeah.
So you're going to have an opportunity here if you're Miami to kind of get to Will Levis and prevent him from scoring, from this Tennessee offense from scoring, and you're going to need it clearly, given the fact that you don't know who's playing quarterback for your own team. Yeah, that has to me. I think that has a domino effect enough that that's my matchup that has to matter here.
Yeah, I will. I'll flip to the other side of things. Dolphins interior offensive linemen, specifically the guards and centers, versus the Titans interior defensive line, led obviously by Jeffrey Simmons. When you look at the interior offensive linemen for the Dolphins, 59.1 pass blocking grade, that's 21st in the NFL. Pressures allowed 11. That's the ninth most in the NFL. So, I think that could be the reason why that's a matchup that matters, not just because the numbers aren't great, but specifically, they say that the closest or the fastest way to get from point A to point B is in a straight line, right? And when you are an interior defensive lineman, you have the shortest path to the ball. You have the shortest path to the quarterback. And if the interior offensive line for the Dolphins does not hold up better than we have seen over the last couple of weeks, that's going to spell danger for it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, right? It would be the same, I guess, if Tua was out there, but Tua at least has more experience of how to get rid of the ball and how to get out of his hands fast. If a guy like Jeffrey Simmons is having his way with the interior offensive line of the Dolphins, then pressure is just going to be coming too quickly. Are you able to operate the quick game the way that you need to? And that sort of ushers in my plus factor in this one. Tyreek Hill is the plus factor for me here because even though his stats have been fine, it's obviously not record-breaking stats like we've seen Tyreek Hill operate at levels at before. He sort of needs to be your let's get the ball in his hand as quickly as possible in any ways that we possibly can. Because you already got Teron Armstead, he's been banged up. Austin Jackson at the right tackle spot also has not had a good last couple of games. So even if you want to just broaden the picture to the overall offensive line of the Miami Dolphins, you got to play a lot of quick game in this one. So the interior offensive line specifically has got to hold up its end of the bargain because you at least have to give these quarterbacks a chance when it comes to time to pressure. And then getting Tyreek Hill the football in ways that aren't just him being able to beat guys deep because we know that he can do that. That to me is sort of the 1-2 combination of that's the matchup that matters. And then that's the plus factor of who could really make a difference here for the Dolphins. What about you? Where's your plus factor go in this one?
I'm sticking with the Titans O-line, but for a different reason. It's the run game. You have to be able to get the run game going. And right now, the Titans are tied for 19th in run blocking grade, 65.6 on the season. You need to find a way to get Tony Pollard involved, and again, insulate against Will Levis's performance. This is one of those things where this is not going to be a shootout between quarterbacks. This is going to be what answers does each offense have to the ways that their quarterbacks are inevitably going to not they're going to mess up, they're going to make mistakes.
Right.
We've seen that from Will Levis.
Right.
What's the Will Levis picture of the game going to be this time? Screenshot of the game going to be this time? But there's a way to mitigate that damage essentially and that impact, and it's to get the ground game going a little bit more if you're Tennessee. And you have the personnel to do it. You just need to make sure that offensive line is allowing for it.
I'm being positive. The Will Levis meme or picture of the game is going to be him holding up one finger, celebrating after he throws a touchdown. I'm back on being positive. Positive okay. Trev is back.
Great. Love it.
Even though me saying that means that I'm negative on the Miami Dolphins. But, we're sticking with positives.